Hello clever people, and welcome to my review for FYRE, the greatest party that never happened, or at least that's what I believe the name is. So FYRE is a movie about the FYRE Music Festival, which was this festival that was promised to be the biggest music festival ever. It would be like Woodstock, there only for really rich people. There would be yachts, and there would be incredibly talented singers playing, and there would be luxurious food and all this great stuff. And what ended up happening was that it wasn't luxurious food, it was cheese sandwiches, and it wasn't yachts, it was tents, and it wasn't great music, it was really loud music that made it so that no one could hear what they were thinking, and it ended up just being a total disaster. And this documentary chronicles everything that happened, everything that led up to it being a disaster, everybody that was involved, and it's just kind of a document of an insane event that you can't really come up with. It's the type of thing that has to happen in real life or no one would believe that it's even realistic. And they made a documentary about it, and I'm really glad. I had no expectations going into FYRE. I didn't know what I was going to get out of it, and I was pleasantly surprised. It's a documentary, and I really enjoyed it so far. The two movies in 2018 that I have really liked have both been movies that were from Netflix. And I'm glad that Netflix is putting out some quality content in the month of January, which is usually such a dull month. We had the Upside, but the Upside wasn't great. It was fine, but it wasn't great. So I'm really, really glad that I got to see something like this in such a lull time, and it really did stick out to me because this story is fascinating. It is so interesting just to see the psyche behind everyone, and to see how such a promising thing with such promising ads that just promises so much and ends up going in the complete opposite direction and failing, and making it so that people who went regretted it and posted blogs about it, how they were so thirsty and starved. And it's just so interesting. And I think my interest in the subject may have overshadowed the actual quality of the documentary. In terms of documentary, it has a very cliched structure. You know how, beat by beat, what's going to happen. You understand when the turning point will be. You understand when it's going to get crazier. You understand when they're going to show the actual festival. And I think also a big disappointing part was that the most interesting part of the story, the legal things that were behind it, like the legal action that happened afterwards with him getting sued in the court and everything, they brushed over that in 5 minutes. And I wish I could have gotten more on that. But still, what they represented in the first hour and a half of this movie, or hour and 20 minutes or so, is still just so interesting. And I can't emphasize it enough. I think it's a documentary that people who say, oh, I don't like documentaries, would actually enjoy, because it has an entertaining structure. It knows where it's going, and it goes there. And even though you know and you kind of feel what the beats are going to be, they're still very interesting to see what happens when they're laid out. I don't think FYRE is like best documentary feature Oscar level good. It's just entertaining, and it's just well done. And I'm really glad that I got to watch it, because there's just so many fascinating interviews in this, and there's so many fascinating things to say about the lead guy who led this. And towards the end of the movie, they talked about what he did afterwards. And when you watch that, you'll realize that the documentary sticks with you. It may not be perfect, it may not be great, but it is entertaining and it is memorable. And those are the two things you need to guarantee at least a 7 out of 10 or above from me. And speaking of scores, I will give FYRE a 7.25 out of 10. Alright, that concludes my review for FYRE. So, what are your thoughts on this film, or what were your thoughts on the FYRE Music Festival? Comment in the comments section below and let me know. I'm Robert Burke, and this has been The Clever Critics. Goodbye.